Hello and welcome to the Federal. High profile citizens, including Nobel laureate Amartya Sen, former Kolkata Police Commissioner Prasun Mukherjee, and even sitting MPs have recently received notices under the special intensive revision of the electoral roll, raising questions about the accuracy and administration of voter lists in West Bengal. To help us understand the administrative, technical, and political implications of this process, we have with us today Mr. Jawhar Sircar. Sir, thank you for joining. He has served as the state's chief electoral officer and oversaw the 1998 99 Lok Sabha elections. With his extensive experience in election administration, he provides insights into how voter administration, how voter rolls are maintained, the challenges of ensuring every eligible citizen is enrolled, and what reforms may be needed to strengthen democratic participation. Let's dive straight into the questions. So, my first question to you is from your experience as former CEO of West Bengal, how should the election machinery ensure that every eligible citizen is accurately included in the electoral roll?
It's all laid out in the procedures of the registration of electors rules, and it has worked wonders for the last 70 years. Okay. We have managed with the system. Every government has been elected on the basis of roles prepared under these rules, including the present government of Mr. Narendra Modi. So all of a sudden, you can't go back and say it was all wrong. It was full of Bangladeshis. It was full of spurious people. This is a particular stand taken by Mr. Ganesh Kumar. I'm mentioning him by name because he is the person responsible for it. When you give charge of wild bullock cart to someone who doesn't know how to handle even ponies, this is bound to happen. He has gone on an agenda where he has dug out from the electoral law powers that exist and powers that don't exist, and has convoluted the whole thing into a dreadful exercise. You see, you have to start right from the beginning. In the 1950s, Sukumar Sen was the first chief election commissioner, and he made it. He followed the democratic principle of requesting voters to come, requesting citizens to come and enroll themselves as voters. Many refused. He went on what is called an outreach policy. The outreach policy of the Election Commission has continued from Sukumar Sen till this Ganesh Kumar came. That means we request you to please exercise your democratic right. Please come and register yourself and help us clean up the road. What you mean by clean up the roll is if you know your neighbor has left and his name is still there, it is your citizen's duty to tell us. Or when our people go, you can say, no, the managers have gone long ago, so the name can be cut. Genuine. This has been inverted. It is an exercise of sheer power. It's an exercise of sheer tormentation. As a person who has conducted 6 elections, including 2 parliament elections into 42 seats, and has dealt with people like Jyoti Basu and Mamta Banerjee, I can assure you uh, that we have never had such a mess. Never had such a mess. And it's a man-made mess.
Okay. Man-made mess, you say. So, sir, SIR notices have been reportedly, sent to even eminent personalities, asking them to prove their electoral credentials. So, in your view, does this indicate overreach or procedural rigidity in the verification process? And, how should such situations ideally be handled?
Okay. The situation has been handled. I have handled. You have handled. Many of us have handled. You as a citizen, as a voter, I as a registrar, we have handled it. It's very simple. The registration of electors' rolls, which is now 60, 70 years old, says that when first of all, it says there's a provision for intensive revision. Other than ad hoc revision, you can go in for an intensive revision, almost like a census. Okay. there is no provision for special intensive revision. So the special intensive revision is ipso facto questionable. What on earth do you mean by special revision? Law says homicide. The law word uses the word homicide. What do you mean by special homicide? What do you mean by special homicide? I mean, you can't go on putting up your own words. This has been challenged, and the courts have been rather slow in adapting to what we are saying because the courts are going through that old principle that the ECI is a constitutional body, the courts are a constitutional body, Parliament is the constitutional body, and therefore we should not interfere into each other, even when the grossest of injustices is taking place. The courts, this hands-off policy of the courts is not the first time. It is devastating the nation in many angles, but I'll not get into that. So number one, there is no provision for special intensive revision. So right from the beginning, you are inventing a procedure that is not backed by law. First. Number two, the electors' roles say that before you approach a household or a voter, you send a notice under Form 4. Check up the rules, you'll find something called Form 4. It's a letter saying that, dear sir, dear madam, your name in our rolls looks like this. Will you kindly tell us how we update it? So you can say, my age is wrong, my spelling is wrong, or my son's name is not there. That's the way. It's an it's a what we call a gentleman's approach. Form 4. Form 4 has never been issued. Form 4 has never been issued under this one. So, which means that if the courts were a little strict, they would declare the entire process to be null and void. That you have not been told. What have you been told? Suddenly, someday, somebody called a BLA, block level, booth level officer, he turns up without notice, accompanied by a political person called a BLA. uh, And usually it's only the ruling parties have the strength to give BLAs. So which means from the first it is a bit dicey, it's a bit compromised. Supposing only the DMK's BLA came to you, what about the others? Supposing in Bengal only the Trinamool's BLA is coming along with the PLO. So there's one political and one official. The two of them come. First of all, they put a letter in your mailbox and you are given what is called an enumeration form. An enumeration form is something that is used in census. Who authorized you to issue that form? What is the basis of that form? A rule or a law is an agreement known in public that this is the procedure we shall follow. Where is this form coming from? What is the authority behind this form? There is none. You can say, I have residual powers. I have residual powers. The residual powers exist in everyone. We don't draw upon what is called residual powers. So this form called enumeration form has been given, filled it with some computer details, and you are told fill in the left side, fill in the right side, and send it. So you've done it. After that, their computers can't match some things. Because their computers can't match, people are made to stand in a line like a fish market, saying, you come and show your paper. Show your paper to a relatively junior officer, surrounded by, usually by clerical staff who are known to be obdurate, if I may use the term. This name is not tallying, that name is, they have been trained on what you call a fault finding mode. They are very junior level people in the government have been trained on a fault finding mode because their power emanates from finding a fault with you and then threatening you. This sort of mentality is there in the bureaucracy in India, in America, everywhere. It doesn't matter. So why are you using that bureaucratic power? Why could you just send the form 4 and have it collected from me? Instead, you are said that I am asking you with reference to 2002 rolls or 2003 rolls that this is it and this discrepancy is there. You explain. You are on the receiving edge. From the bowler, you are suddenly converted into a shaky batsman. and you haven't been trained in the art of batting. Now, this one, if some discrepancy comes up, any one factual, and the computer shows beep beep error. So beep beep error, instead of using your computer at your end to find out what the error is. I remember ridiculous things in the government. Ridiculous things in the government. I remember early days, a lady's ration card application was rejected because she hasn't filled in a column known as Mr., Mrs., etc. She'd given a name, Anita Devi. She hadn't filled in Mr., Mrs., or whatever. I mean, people can be uh, obdurate and, if I may use the term, stupid at times. So this exercise is based on that obdurateness. It is actually representing the height of arrogance combined with what I may use the word an incomplete understanding of the process in which mass organizations like this suffer. So, and he's going on defending himself because he knows there is no one to catch. He has Amit Shah in his pocket, and therefore he can do anything.
So you have given in detail where all SIR process went wrong. Also, can we talk about what procedural or administrative challenges have emerged during the SIR process, and how can verification mechanisms be designed to ensure electoral integrity while also safeguarding the citizens' rights?
You see, there are the host of reasons that you can prove. I mean, if you want to be imaginative, sometimes when my bank asks me to give me my video of my life certificate, so I give a video and I hold up that day's paper. You know, hold up that day's paper as proof that I was alive on that day. I mean, that day's paper. I mean, so all you have to do is to use your mind, not your power. Use your mind, not your power. The citizen's right to vote is a sacred right. And the government's duty or the election commission's duty to persuade citizens to exercise this right is equally sacred. They've converted it because behind this man's mind, as hundreds of people and thousands of people are saying, and all the political parties are saying, are two things. Two things. Number one, I shall show you how much power I can exercise, legitimately or illegitimately. I'll send this video to him so that he can challenge it. So, number one, and I can prove to you the exercise of power that he's going through. It's a megalomania exercise. Look at the number of days given to BLOs to complete a task. It was so highly pressurized that 23 of them committed suicide all over India, including his favorite state, Gujarat. People committed suicide because people can't take the stress. And then he eased the timeline. What a silly thing to do. Why couldn't you have that eased up timeline before? What is the tearing hurry to do it in Gujarat in 3 weeks? Gujarat is not going to face elections. So you could do it over a period of 2 to 3 months and people would be in a position to do their job well. You highly pressurize to show people that मेरे पास इतनी ताकत है. That's it. The number of suicides that have taken place, the number of deaths, heart attacks and deaths that have taken place in government machinery, in election machinery, has never been preceded in all the 70 years. So that itself proves that that thing is a nutcase exercise of power. The second thing that he wanted to do, or he wants to do, and it's becoming evidently clear, is that he wants to bring in citizenship. Citizenship law in this country has not yet been spelled out with utter clarity. There are very convoluted laws, and if you are asked to produce a grandmother's or grandfather's certificate, you will not be able to produce. The election law says normally resident. The driving words in the election law which I have exercised is normally resident. Okay? You don't have to get into citizenship issues only for that because your purpose is to conduct elections. No, 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 no. The word citizen of India is there in my law. To hell with you. I'm saying to hell with you. I'll tell you why. I use such strong terms. There are 870 central acts, 870, and thousands of other state acts. Every act uses the word citizen of India, sound mind. These are words that are used. Now, tomorrow, if the railways say that tickets can be given to citizens, before you give a ticket, first you show you're a citizen of India. If the motor vehicles say that I will check the fitness of your car, I'll check the fitness of your citizenship, the entire thing has been configurated. A small group of Hindu fanatics, I'm using a straight term, are celebrating the fact that, now we shall catch the Bangladeshis. Now we shall catch the Bangladeshis. Now we shall catch the Jaffna Tamils. Now we shall catch them. What pleasure do you get from picking up? Of course, there are loopholes. Of course, there are some people, but this is not the way to do it. It is the job of the Home Ministry to set up its own machinery, like a census operation, go through verification. Go through verification, but that's a different job. So why are you, Ganesh Kumar, bringing in citizenship here? Why are you stopping and delaying the entire process on the basis of citizenship here? Are you a Tamil of this thing or are you a Jaffna Tamil? I mean, what nonsense. What does it matter to you? What does it matter to you? Supposing even if I assume that the person is illegal, the percentage is so fractionally little that you are tormenting the whole of India for a handful of people who may have sneaked. As an administrator, you've got to get your priorities clear. Got to get your
So how
priorities clear. Mm.
so how can these verification mechanisms be designed to ensure the electoral integrity, sir?
The electoral integrity of the role has been accepted. If it was wrong, then remember, Mr. Modi's election is wrong. The last formation of the last government and the government prior to that, and the formation of the government in Bengal and Tamil Nadu is all wrong because you did it on a wrong road. It is presumed to be correct, but at the same time, everyone knows that uh, a certain percentage have died or got away. Everyone knows that. Now, to find that out, you don't need the Gestapo. You don't need the Gestapo to find that out. You understand? So, this Gestapo techniques are not required. You can simply, as I said, send in Form 4. I have sent Form 4. I've got results. And there'll always be a little confusion when you're dealing with 140 crores. There'll always be a little confusion of a person who actually doesn't want to give up his normal residency in X road, though he continues to remain in Bombay all his life. It's a question of sentiment. That's all. My thing is there. Everything that is known as my permanent address, everything goes there. So you put my voters list there. I promise I won't vote in Bombay. Finished. These are individual choices. So why are you making such a fetish about it? So there are various ways of doing the whole thing, much more cleanly, much more effectively, and it has been done. The fun thing has been done. The 2014 election is illicit. 2019 election is illicit because it was none of those rules. So what are you trying to say? You are telling Mr. Amit Shah, sir, I have served you for the last 11 years most faithfully. The corner of your heart is to find out citizenship. You couldn't do it, sir. I'll come and do it. Let me see. I'll show it to it. That's all he's trying to do. That's all he's trying to do, especially in a state like Bengal, which is contiguous to Bangladesh, where inflows and outflows do take place. I'm not saying they don't take place. Now, which one is legit and which one is illegit? It depends on the number of date, on the date in which you cross. Two parts of a same people, same language, same literature, same diet, same everything. How can you make out? You understand because you're from Tamil Nadu. I understand because I'm from here. Who will explain this to a Gujarati that if I cut off Ahmedabad and Vadodara tomorrow and expect that, and no, there should be no contact whatsoever? It's not possible. My daughter is married in Baroda. My nephews are all there. You know what I mean? That sort of relationship exercise exists in what is called a truncated state, a divided state. So to put that as God's evil, it requires minds that are not normal, abnormal minds.
So, for
Hmm.
my last
Hmm.
question, let's talk about the political implications. The considering the controversies and human costs linked to the SIR process, what impact do you think this exercise could have on the forthcoming assembly elections, particularly in terms of voter confidence and political outcomes?
The ECI has been associated mentally with oppressiveness and with the BJP. So the BJP will bear the brunt of the ECI's faults. At least where Bengal is concerned, people are concerned, no one will forget how long he was made to stand in a line for 8 hours, 4 hours to make an appearance and then be, insulted to prove his own papers. So the entire wrath will go against it, and this woman, this lady, she will get the advantage out of it. She was on a back foot because of allegations of corruption, allegations of oppression. Now she's on the front foot. She's on the front foot. You've done it for her. They have done her a favor. At least where Bengal is concerned, I can tell you they have done a favor. Hmm,
Okay. So, thank you
hmm,
for your time, and viewers, stay tuned with the Federal for more such interviews.
hmm. Thank you. Thank you.